I have a proposal for all the men who use the term "not all men." Oh yeah, let's talk about not all men. Oh God, I can't wait to talk about not all men. Here's the reality, okay? Here's the reality, okay? This not all men is a response to the cam argument, the kill all men argument. Which is very prevalent like a year ago, or so ago on TikTok. It's an annoying argument. Basically, it's cam, kill all men because some men are bad, which is a bad thing to do, right? They're saying that because some men are bad, you should kill all men. The response from a lot of people, especially younger men, are like, hey, not all of us are bad, and you're talking about killing us, right? Then the response is like, oh, well, you know, if there was 10 muffins and one of them had doo-doo in it and you didn't know which one had doo-doo in it, would you eat muffins? No, of course not. It's like, yeah, I get it. I understand the skepticism about like around men, especially since like men have hurt women. But the thing is that like women have hurt men too. Like I'm skeptical of women too. It's a normal experience, you know. A lot of this though is in relation to like sexual assault type stuff, and I get it. But like this is not the way to advocate for it. No young man is like, you know what? I'm going to be more educated about my interactions with women because somebody says kill all men. Like it's not helping anybody. It's a performance piece. This is what people do all the time. They're speaking. This is TurtleNeckEmo. This is the next one on the chopping block. Honestly, this is the next like performative male feminist nonsensical bullshit. It's just for your audience. This is content for his audience. It's like, oh, kill all men, hee tee. That's all it is. That's content for his own audience. It's not content to have an educational conversation about like differences in power dynamics between men and women and like the specific issues that women will tend to face in society, which some men can as well, but you know, we're generalizing here. But let's see.
I have a proposal for all of the men who use the term not all men to minimize the societal issue of widespread misogyny. We force them to live.
By the way, keep in mind, one aspect of misogyny is what we see in Modern Warrior and a lot of other content creators like this is they will basically virtue signal towards a group of people for them to get trust from that group and then like actually not respect that group. So keep that in mind.
Live with a variety of snakes, most of which are venomous.
Okay.
But not all of them. According to them, they should have nothing to complain about.
Or you're supposed to, I would say you shouldn't kill all the snakes, but I would be hesitant about interacting with snakes. That's a fair thing. There's a difference between saying they should all die versus I'm just going to be skeptical of them.
Because not all the snakes they are forced to live with are venomous. I have a proposal.
Okay. Cool. What does this person say?
Men who use the term...
Oh, it's Savini Politics. I know this person. Okay.
Not all men to minimize the societal issue of...
If it's fair to generalize...
Whoa, you're loud.
...and say all men, even though less than 1% of men are actually predatory, don't men have the right to say all women because up to 5% of assault cases have been proven to be false accusations? If you are judging someone based off a characteristic that they can't control, you are justifying bigotry. And if it is all men, that includes yourself. So, that doesn't seem too good.
All of the men who...
So here's the thing. It brings into... research actually suggests that 3% of men may be predators, but that's kind of irrelevant. Okay, so this brings into a new aspect of the conversation, and it is the apprehensiveness of interacting with a particular group because you are afraid of that group for potentially warranted reasons. Because if you present like, oh, well, because there's some bad Italian people, we know how bad Italian people are. Because some of the... that means that you hate all Italian people. So it's like, oh, well, you know, this group of people, some of them do a bad thing. So this whole group does a bad thing. I'm skeptical of them. I think it's okay to be skeptical of a group as long as you do your best not to treat them differently. It's a normal human response. There are always going to be people in any group that are going to act shitty and make the rest of the group look bad. And we have to understand that, unfortunately, as humans, people tend to receive information and then their feedback is like, oh, I'm going to apprehensive. It's okay to be apprehensive about a group. It's okay to be like, okay, like let's say black people, for instance, like black people are apprehensive about white people. It's okay to be like, okay, I'm going to be a little afraid of white people as long as you're not running around shooting white people. Right. And as long as like when you interact with an individual white person, you don't instantly go ew. And It's okay to have like a comfort zone. It really is. If you're somebody who's been like hurt by another group, like, not to be intense, but like, let's say you're somebody that you were sexually assaulted by a group, like another group of people, like somebody from another group, you might have it, and maybe irrational, you might have an irrational fear of that race of people. Is it justifiable? Yes. Is it okay to use that as a way to speak negatively of that entire group? No. It's a very nuanced thing. We all, as people, tend to kind of we tend to look at other groups in general, not even race, as less than if we've been hurt by that group in some capacity. You should definitely work to not. You should definitely. Ideally, nobody would have any stereotypical perspectives on anybody, but that's just not the reality. I understand why some people do. You know, most people, if you don't have a warranted reason, though, you shouldn't. Right? Like you shouldn't, but I get it. So just keep that in mind. There's your little nuance there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.